Guys, I can't tell you how excited I am to finally be getting started doing this. We've been talking about this for almost a year, right? And delays and things have caused us to kind of not be able to get started on time and on track. But I gotta tell you, I'm super excited about this. I go to bed thinking about this at night, and it keeps me up at night sometimes in a good way. And I wake up thinking about the potential for good to come out of this. For those of you that have been around since the beginning, we've been talking about this, and for some of the managers that are here, I did switch books and focus. We originally were talking about doing a book called Who Moved the Cheese, talking about change. But in reading some material and kind of trying to decide what we wanted to accomplish in this, I thought this book was going to be a better start for us. And I hope you will too. So the entire class is kind of going to be built around this. The reading, and there will be reading, is going to be in this book because the root of all change is a desire to grow, right? And I took some notes here to make sure I don't miss anything. So we have to commit to that growth, and growing doesn't just happen on its own, and it doesn't happen in one class. So I don't expect, and I've said this before, that you guys are going to get to this class and you're done. It's a lifelong process, but I think that the process of growing is a difficult one because it involves change, right? It involves looking in and deciding that, yes, there are areas that I need to, or that I have potential for, and then being vulnerable enough to say, okay, what am I going to do something about that? If we can nail that down early, then the leadership and the mentorship stuff that we will be talking about during this during the cohort will have more effect, I think. And this, I think, and the ability to grow and decide that you're going to continue growing. So there's no finish line yet. We're always doing that until we hit our final days, right? If we've got that foundation laid, everything else that we get new that comes in will be easier for us to adopt, the things that we want to adopt. So this course, I'm looking for a commitment from people. It is going to take some time, and it's going to take you doing self-reflection. It's going to take you being vulnerable. I'm going to ask you to commit to applying the ideas that we learn. So some of them are going to take you out of your comfort zone. That growth is going to happen in the fire, I like to say, and you come out with whatever you put into it. You're going to be asked to team up with an accountability partner. Why would I ask you guys to do that? Accountability partner. Anyone got anything?
Otherwise, we won't do it on our own.
We won't do it on our own. Say again?
Motivation.
Motivation.
I think each person will make each person accountable where you have to. If someone's going to hold you, well, versus you're just being accountable on your own. There's nobody that's going to hold you accountable.
Right.
Well, plus the
teamwork.
other person can also point out things that you need to work on.
Or encouragement.
I love all this. So this is perfect. I heard encouragement. I heard pointing out because we don't see our blind spots sometimes. So having someone there. Also part of leadership, right, is offering feedback and communication. So in our ability to have an accountability partner and develop trust with that person, and then be able to offer constructive feedback that leads to growth is going to be a challenge for some folks. For some folks, it's going to be natural. And for others, we'll have to see where everyone plays in there. Now, I want to throw out here right away. So I'm going to ask you to be vulnerable. That doesn't mean that we're all going to sit around and we're going to have hug circles all the time and talk about our feelings. However, I think that it's important that you allow for yourself to see and recognize that you do have growth areas. There's areas in your life that we can do different things. We can learn. We have a capacity to fill gaps. If you're coming in and I've got everything I need, this is probably not going to, this book is going to be a waste of time to you. Okay. So if you're coming in with an attitude that, I'm an unfilled vessel, that I've got room that I can pour into, then we're in the right spot here. Everyone's going to have a different amount that needs to be poured into and a different amount that we need to go through. I'm going to ask that everyone be respectful. So both in our interactions, and we'll talk about the Google Classroom in a moment, in our meeting that we have once a month, and in the interactions that we have, because I'm going to try to build in time for this team. And now this is a team, and the Maxwell book calls it a mastermind group. So we'll call it our MMG. This mastermind group is a group that we're going to have a shared experience. And I hope that that shared experience creates growth in the team members that are in this team, but also the ability for us to take that out of the team. The three things that, and you'll be getting a copy of this. Thank you, Ross, for providing the streaming binders. A copy of the kind of the work study, and we'll get one to you up the hill too, Justin.
Sweet.
A work study of the book, and the book in it, it kind of breaks up each of the chapters into 3 sections. Learn it, live it, lead it. All right, and so those will kind of be our mantras. And I'm going to ask you, what does that mean? Learn it. What do you think that is?
Understand it.
Yeah, we've got to put the time into looking at the material and reading it and learning it. Live it. What do you think that means, Ken?
Actually practicing on the teachers.
All right, so I'm going to be in some of these areas. I'm going to help facilitate opportunities for you to find a way to apply what we've learned. Not every chapter is going to work as easily and be as black and white in the application piece of it, the live it, but some will be. Some will be, hey, we need to make a decision. One of the first chapters in here is intentionality, right? Intentionality means that I intend to grow, so I'm going to make one step toward growing. What is that step going to be? It's going to be different for every person, but I'm going to have everyone set a goal. Short term, doesn't have to be work focused. It doesn't have to be about leadership. It's going to be a goal that you're going to set, that you're going to pick an accountability partner to hold you accountable to. And that'll be our first commitment toward moving toward the end of this class. My commitment to you, I'm going to be mindful of your time. So we're going to get in on time. I expect y'all to be as well. 11:30 is our start time. It's going to be very tight, the amount of time that we have. Get there on time. Get there early. You have heard me say, if you haven't, I'm not doing my job. My dad taught me that early is on time is late, and late's not acceptable for this MMG. So for our mastermind group, you need to be on time. I will make myself available to you. Don't take this the wrong way. I don't want to be everyone's accountability partner. And here's the reason why. I mean, you and I have a relationship where I'm guiding you and I'm giving you feedback on a regular basis. I want y'all to get out of your comfort zone and have accountability partners with each other, so that you are the one now that is learning how to offer feedback. You are the one that is listening to feedback from someone else. I'm not saying I won't be, but I want you to talk amongst yourselves. Think about it. And I would also, hey, I don't know if he would be a good accountability partner. Put yourself out there a little bit, because growth, you're in this class to help grow other people too. And so it might be a good idea to have someone that you can learn and they can learn about accountability and feedback that way. Create an environment of, bring multiple perspectives. We're going to have more than just myself. I don't want this to be Michael Carter's leadership and mentorship program. I've talked and reached out to David. David has agreed to come in and do a talk with us, I think in April, on a spirit of collaboration and building a good culture. We'll have to work on the title. But David, who I respect as a leader, is going to come in and he sees the worthwhile investment in our staff and developing, what we call the middle, developing staff and the people that are coming up, not just to be good managers, right, but to be people who are adhered to growth, teamwork people. Jonas has also agreed to do a topic, and I'm not sure what he'll do yet. He'll probably do his in March or May. I'm going to ask you in these meetings. The meetings are going to be held. I think we have conference rooms reserved. I'll have to double check on that. Cell phones and other electronic devices. I don't know if we're going to go to the point of putting them in a basket when we come to those meetings. We may. We'll see if we can get everyone's cooperation. The minute I see that people are staring at their phones instead of paying attention to what's going on in the class, I think we may go that route. Let's check in phones when we get to the meeting so that we can concentrate on that little amount of time that we have and focus on what we're doing. Meetings will start and end promptly. Late arrivals will be allowed, but I'm going to have the team, and we'll talk about this afternoon, hold people accountable to getting there on time. There's an impact, right? When we don't get to places on time, there's a disruption. And, I want to see how we can deal with that respectfully as a team. Members should provide prior notification if you're not able to attend. I will do the same. The only month there's 2 months that are going to be maybe a little out of sync. February, so January we're third Tuesday of the month. February, because of the holidays, I think we moved it to the fourth Tuesday of the month. And then in April, I have some activities planned, but April is the month that I'm going to be in London too. I will give you as much notice or sufficient notice so that it shouldn't cause a problem. You are responsible if you miss and things happen. Come and see me. I'll try to record what we can record so that you can follow up on that stuff. Members are expected to obtain and read this book, and they are expected to put some time and effort into this. So let's talk about that. I think I went over everything. So the interface that we're going to be using, and this is going to be tough to do, so I'm sharing the screen. The interface that we're going to be using is Google Classroom. So everyone here, I checked, everyone had an account in Google Admin. It's your first name dot last name at sbcss.org. If you can't get in, let me know. But the URL to get into the classroom is classroom.google.com. And then once you get in, you're gonna click on your or create a profile or log in with your credentials. I just happen to have my credentials here. I think 5 people have been in the class already. Great. Everyone else has not been. So I don't know if you didn't get the message or if you haven't been able to get in. Once you log in, if you haven't yet, you should see probably one class and one class only, unless you've done Google Classroom before. Make sure you join. And this is a dummy account here. But once you join, notice you're going to be, okay, we'll create posts in a moment. There's a stream, classwork, and people in there. The stream is just that. I want to have collaboration in this class. We're only meeting one time a month, and we're meeting for an hour and a half, and we've got a lot to cover in that time. I want to have collaboration the rest of that time through this interface. So here's yet another pane of glass that you're going to need to check on regularly. You can do this through your mobile device as well. But I'm going to post questions. I'm going to post ideas. How many of you have seen the couple items that I posted in there? I think there's 5 people in there. Thought-provoking questions, because these are meant for us to sit down and, hey, what do you think about a growth versus a fixed mindset and these things on there? Do you agree with that? Do you not agree with that? Part of what we're doing in team building, and that we're going to do kind of outside of this program, just with the help desk itself, is being able to have arguments is the wrong word. What's the word in that book that we use? Lively, interactive, but respectful discussion, right? And because our growth of our pool of knowledge is increased when we allow other perspectives in. Right, and if I think that I know everything that there is to know about a subject, but I know nothing about that subject until I've seen other people's perspectives on that. That's one way of looking at it. It's philosophical, but doggone it. Sorry. Let me log in again. So, look how easy this is. Classroom.google.com. Again, so I'm going to be posting things out there, and I want people to look at those. I'm posting them out there for the purpose of beginning discussions, things that we can have not just in that classroom once a month for an hour and a half, but outside of the class. This mastermind group exists from now until the end of June, and in July I think we're going to do some kind of graduation thing. Haven't decided on that yet. And it'll also have ideas about leadership on there too, because we're going to have to squeeze a lot about leadership in around the 1 hour and a half class. So being there, it's easy to look at and post items in there, so you can share if you've read an article or there's something that you want to post on there. Please do be respectful. So your answers, your comments, your things, I expect you to use your critical constructive criticism and reply hats on when we're doing that. Classwork. I've broken up all but the last class because I'm not sure about the date yet for June, I think. Yeah, I don't have June on there yet. I may need to move that date around. These are the, I'm sorry?
Because I logged in last night, they were all like thrown in there kind of.
Well, that's in the stream.
Oh,
But
okay,
under
so-
classwork, you should see just these classes. So we only have 6 classes, folks. 6 classes. to go over what I want to go over, which is, we still, I would like everyone, if they haven't yet, to do the MBTI, which is the Myers-Briggs type indicator. So this is going to be a self-reflection. Are we on time? 9:17. I want you to print the results out. You're going to keep them in your binder. There is a emotional intelligence questionnaire as one of the assignments in there that I want you to do. I'm getting ahead of myself. So each of those classes is broken into 6 classes. We've got a lot to do. In those classes, expect that when you click on the class, you're going to have assignments in there. Assignments are going to range from, hey, it's an attachment. Fill out this attachment, print it out, keep it in your folder. We're going to talk about it. There's also the MBTI is a web link. So the assignment is click on the web link, go and do the web thing, and then in this case, print out your results. I'll leave the instructions there. There's also question. So some of these are meant to be questions. Each week you're going to have a question. So this is each week. You guys heard me, right? Each week we're going to have a question based off of the reading, either for that week or a question that we have based off something that I posted on there. Here's what the expectation is. Each person is going to answer that question for themselves, and I want you to comment on one other person's answer. So the way these questions are going to be posed, everyone's going to be able to see everyone's answer, and then this is how we give feedback. I want everyone to collaborate by answering at least one person. If you want to do more than one person, by all means. I will try to get to everyone as well each week, have a comment for each person. So each person should have at least a minimum of 2 replies to whatever their comments are. So it's going to work like an online course like that. And there'll be, I don't mean these to be paragraphs and essays. They're going to be questions that are going to develop an idea or create discussion points for an idea. Many of them are going to be based off of this book. Hey, on this particular chapter, there was a particular thought in here that I hope brought out something in you or highlighted something for you. What did it mean to the folks that are in that class? So that'll be one of the things that you'll see in there too. There's also, how many people are familiar with Padlet? So Padlet is an online web app, and it allows you to go to a single location. There's a question that's posed generally, and you're able to just type a response. And it's just a different way to do it rather than just typing in a stream. It allows for these little, what looks like postcards to be dropped up on this wall or this board of different people's responses, and allow just a different way to do things. So don't be surprised if you see that. You don't need to install software. It'll be a link to a Padlet URL. You go to the URL, you read the question, you answer the question. So it's just a different way to do the questions. And then again, so that's under classwork. Each month we'll have a class, and there'll be assignments for that class. I am not about trying to get you to spend 8 hours a week doing this. Again, the questions are meant to just be discussion items, and I hope what they fuel is, outside of the one time a month that we meet, the people that are in the mastermind groups of this cohort are talking amongst themselves about that question. Hey, what do you think about that question? Or I may pose a rhetorical question out there that doesn't need an answer, or like that graphic, fixed versus growth mindset, and it's meant for you all to create opportunities to what? Of the 3 L's.
Learn, live,
And lead it. Oh, we never talked about lead it. So to live it. So we're asking those questions out there. That's the practical application. The lead it. We didn't talk about that, but we should have. Justin, what do you think lead it is? How do we do the lead it part?
Well, you have to take what you take what you've learned, take the experience you've had with it, and then actually push that out there, show it to other people.
Right. And so Justin's kind of doing double duty. Justin's actually doing leadership levers with CA Help. So he's going to bring a different perspective in his lead it piece. And the lead it piece is where that's what you guys signed up. So don't think I'm doing a bait and switch on you. You guys signed up for the leadership and mentorship program, but again, all of that is based off of you need to know yourself as a leader and lead yourself first. What is the goal of any good leader? Anyone want to throw that out there?
Lead by example.
Lead by example. grow others, right? We lead so that we can bring up the next leaders. We don't lead to tell people what to do. We don't lead to build a cadre of followers. We lead to push down and empower people to do what we're called to do by our mission statement, and we'll talk about mission statement this year, and so that someone can come behind us, and so someone can come alongside us even, and help us reach that mission, that end goal. Right? That's the leader. Understand and clearly communicate the vision, and then get that group consensus to get them toward the vision, and then build capacity behind and alongside so that you can make that mission happen. Right? And a leader also has some other things that we'll talk about. Hey, we need to constantly reevaluate that vision. We need to look at it and make sure that we have a vision that is broad enough and has enough depth that we don't, hey, our vision lasted for 3 months and now we're done. What do we do now? There will be a time possibly when we get to, or we need to reevaluate a vision, okay, or the mission, and then again, get everyone around, understand, clearly communicate, and work toward that vision. So that's where the leader spends some of his time. He has to be doing that, but also growing people. That's what we want to be doing. So with the exception of the June class out there, and you'll notice that some of the classes are filled out. January's as full as I can make it. I don't think we'll do too much more than what you see in January in terms of assignments and things. Again, because I don't want this to take a lot of time outside of your life, but I want this piece of it, the growth piece of it. You're going to spend that time. You need to make that decision for yourself, but I'm going to help you with some of that commitment because we're going to hold you accountable, or your accountability partner will, to making that commitment. Now, having said those things, okay, the assignments that are in there, there is a grade section here for the. If I look at this from my point of view here, let me sign in. Yes. Verify. Yes, it's me. Yes. So there's a grade section here. I'm not grading people, and I'm not going to be reporting grades out. I mean, that's not what this is about. However, the grade section, it's going to be an all or none. It will let me know what if you're not getting those assignments. Say again. If you're participating, which your participation tells me what?
You're committed.
That you're committed. All right. So here's what I would like, and the reason I wanted to have this before we started, in the last 5 minutes here, and I'll open up to questions, is I want you to make that commitment to yourself first. You're going to make a commitment to me, and I'm going to make a commitment to you to hold you accountable. If you're in the course, I want you to be able to experience it. There's things that are purposely in there that we're going to have you do to help, facilitate or spur on that growth. And then if they're not in there, I want you to know, if you're committing, I'm also committing to hold you accountable. Hey, I need you to get in there. I'm not going to chase you down for a grade, but I'm going to hold you accountable to the fact that you want to be in here, and it's about growth. And it's about, investing the time. All right. Any questions about what we're doing? Again, our first meeting is on January, the 3rd Tuesday in January. What is the date there? Whatever the date is, January 21st. Get in the class now. There are things that you can and should be doing now. The MBTI, the emotional intelligence survey. I want those completed and done by the time we hit our class. And then be looking out every Monday. From here on out, I'm going to put a question out there that I want people to answer. And then you'll be answering on someone else's, or commenting on someone else's feed. Any questions beyond that? No questions? Is anyone excited? You ready to go? I tell you,
Yep.
I have spent a lot of time, and again, this is not, I'm trying to make this as wide-reaching as possible, picking up different authors. I have been sharing with the managers different books, just ideas that I think are important and that I think have value. It's a lot of reading. I do a lot of audio because I've got a 30-minute drive home. if you have the opportunity to pick up the books, I'll share that with this group through the stream here, and you want to talk about it, come and see me. Again, accountability partner, if you can't find one, let me know. Everyone has to have one, and I want them to be your peers. But in terms of just coming in, sitting down and talking, Roz and I have great talks all the time. I mean, I hope that you know that the office is open. I want to hear what your thoughts are. I want to know how your journey is going and how I can help in that journey. Okay. You know about I'm not going to mention accountability partners anymore, but I'm here for you. Your partners are here for you. I'm eager to see how that collaboration and the connection between this group happens as a result of this as well. So, all right.
This was an app for the book.
Say again?
I guess there's an app for the book.
There's an app for the book?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
I just noticed it now when I was looking at the back.
So I have these 3-ring binders. I'm having the study guide printed out. I should have those this afternoon. So for the folks that are here at our afternoon meeting, I hope to have them filled out and done by then. Everyone will get, in addition. Oh, who has not gotten a book yet? Everyone's gotten a book? I think
I don't have one.
Okay, I'll send one up with Evan tonight for you. And then I should have this 3-ring as well for you tonight as well, if you can't make it today.
Okay. I'm
All right.
hoping to be down there.
All right. So the MISA is our monthly help desk meeting. And secretly at our monthly help desk meeting, I'll let you guys be surprised when we get there. So the help desk meeting, and I think, I don't want to point out, so everyone that's in this program is in this program. Thank you. Glad you're here. I think we're going to learn some great things about each other and about yourselves. I don't want anyone mentioning to anyone else if, hey, I decide this is too much, or someone decides it's too much, or for people who are not in the program, absolutely, it's not secret. Let's share information with them. I don't want to put anyone on the spot or peer pressure anyone into participating. And I understand if this is, it's going to take some work. If this is not the right time for you, don't feel bad about that either. If it's not the right time for you, if your mind's not ready, if you're not in the right mindset, probably another time would be better. And we're not going to look down, or I'm not going to look down on anyone that doesn't have the time right now. And I expect this group, or anyone who's not participating or is unable to participate, we are learning how to do feedback in the right way. Right? And I'm going to hold people accountable to that are in the course, because you've heard it, you know it. You're going to be held responsible to it, not just in the course, but in how we conduct ourselves out here every day. Because what is that the third L of? Leading it, right? So if we're not leading it by the example, again, our commitment in I'm out of time. If we're not leading our example, we're going to hold each other accountable to it. All right. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Michael,
Yes, sir. Let me stop this real quick. Stop recording.